Alrighty, we're live. Hi, everyone. I am Chantel Taldili of A Beautiful Surprise, a wellness studio. And with me today is Jordan. Jordan is an apprentice teacher at A Beautiful Surprise, a Pilates apprentice teacher. So we have different teachers. But yeah, definitely a Pilates apprentice teacher. And I asked Jordan to do this live with me because the purpose is to talk to you a little bit more about Pure Body and the program. And sometimes, Jordan, I hear you talking to other people that are considering the program, and I think, oh, that's a different way of thinking of it, or that's a different way of looking at it. And just to kind of preface, and I want to introduce you officially, is that we both come from similar worlds and backgrounds in that we were both in the fitness industry before. Obviously, I was teaching Pilates before. And so I have a whole other way of viewing this teacher training and Pure Body in particular. But you in particular came from like as an owner before and as, a bar instructor and multiple, like we go out there and we're similar in that way. We go out there and we get all the certs and we do all the things and we do all the continuing education. And I think that's the one thing that I hear you talk the most about and the difference with Pure Body teacher training. So that's kind of the purpose of this live and me asking you to do this is one, you're a rock star teacher. And so I wanted to highlight you. But also I wanted, if anyone is out there right now kind of wondering, why should I learn to teach Pilates? Because sometimes the other side of this is you don't actually teach Pilates in a studio. You don't even teach Pilates in like a client to teacher relationship. At least that's usually the intention that I see. And then it kind of evolves from there. And most people end up becoming teachers. Sometimes not. And there's other things that can happen with that. But I wanted you to share your story, your why, your background. And because I think that so many other fitness enthusiasts and personal trainers, and that's how I started also. And then they discover Pilates and then they discover that I can actually help my client. They don't have to cancel their sessions with me because they can come in and do Pilates with me. And then we can get them back to, the heavy lifting or whatever it might be that they're doing. So I want to officially introduce you, Jordan, an apprentice teacher here at A Beautiful Surprise and a rock star. Your classes are on the schedule. Anyone can find you that's interested in taking your classes. Of course, we have a whole new proprietary methodology that we have people come in and do privates before they move into session with you or any of the other teachers here. But, officially announcing you, what other better way than right here doing a live. When I get really excited, I speak really fast. So I heard that, it sounded like I was in fast forward mode. I'll try to slow it down a little bit. I speak fast naturally, but then when I get really excited, I extra, it's like the fast forward mode goes even faster.
Yeah, I do that sometimes too. Yeah, where you have so much that you want to say or you have so much that you want to get out, and then you just start talking and it's like this and then you're like, I probably didn't need to say half of that.
What did I really say? Yeah. But okay. So Jordan, go ahead, take it away. Share with us, your background, where you came from, your whys, and then maybe what feels different to you about Pure Body teacher training now that you've gone through the program and are doing what we consider auditing and sitting in the second round that we're doing right now also. And then at the end, so if you have to fast forward to come to the very end, there are some special bonuses and offers. There is an open house this Saturday. It's by Zoom. It is, we did the math earlier, Jordan. It's 9 a.m. MST on Zoom. So if you're just the slightest bit interested, what that open house will have all of the information you could ever ask. The founder of the program, Heather Erdman, she will be there live to answer any questions at the end. We will flow through a mat series so you can actually sense what you could be teaching within the first 3 modules. And the really cool thing also is that this next round is a hybrid, meaning that the first 3 modules out of 9 are virtual. We're in this virtual world right now where, you can see if you feel comfortable by month 4 to travel. And if not, you put your registration on hold, not technically, but you just say, I'm going to meet back up the next time this comes around. So you're not on anyone's timeline. You're on your own timeline and you get to at least learn the first 3 modules and start teaching the mat series. So, okay, I really am going to stop talking now. And Jordan, take it away.
All right. So like Chantel said, I come from a fitness background. I group fitness instructor, teach HIIT, weightlifting, I was up doing boot camp where I'm putting together boot camp programs, a bar instructor. I have a couple of different certifications, and there are a lot of good programs out there. There are a lot of good programs that you can do online. It's not the same. Bar has a lot of Pilates in it. Our general movements has Pilates in it. Weightlifting has Pilates in it. Everything comes back down. And if you start with Pilates, my whole world just opened up. I had just a better understanding of everything, where you start with your foundations and your basic movements, and you're learning the mat, and we're going through some of these movements, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this is just like this other movement that I was doing in my bar class, but now I know how to do it better myself, and I know how to teach it better. Not just with words, but with physical cueing as well. I know how to come up to you and actually professionally put my hands on you to show you how you're doing your movement. Because there are times you can say, point your toe or bring your leg up, and you're going to have someone in class who is like, what does that mean? And to you, as a fitness instructor or someone who's in fitness, or even anyone that has been to a fitness class, is like, what do you mean? She said, point your toe. Not everybody actually understands that. So with the Pure Body program, they teach you how to be more clear with your words, take the excess out, and then teach the movements to somebody who maybe has never moved before. Or even if you have someone in class, now that person might understand how to do that movement better. And then they take it from the mat onto the reformer. So I'm sitting on a reformer right now. I'm actually in a beautiful surprise studio. You take the moves onto the reformer. Then you can take those moves onto tower or something called a Cadillac. They also have a Wunda chair. You can take the moves onto the Wunda chair and to a ladder barrel. And then from there, you can take it into your bar class. You can take it into your weightlifting. They just break everything down, and it's comprehensive. My knowledge of everything, just like I say all the time, I wish I had done this first. I love teaching bar. I still teach bar. I don't teach HIIT or the boot camp stuff as much. I do go weightlifting with my husband still. He we go do leg day, but I know how to move when I squat so that I don't injure myself.
Yeah, I think that's key, right? I think you hit that one at the very beginning, where that's what I think Pilates is for me also. It's the foundation. So I think of, like as you work your way up the pyramid of your fitness and your health, really it comes back to the pyramid, the very bottom base, the foundational work is Pilates. And I see that over and over again. I know in my own body, when I am not doing Pilates, I get injured, you know, and, there's this old adage that like, if you want to never do Pilates again, open a studio. Yeah. I've lived that to come on the other side of it and say that, oh, like, I guess I just had to live it to learn it, to know it now. And changing that around. But it's so true. If Pilates is at the foundation of what you're doing, you squat back, you do the basic the fundamental movements that we do in real life that you will do in all other aspects of fitness. And you learn how to move from a very safe vantage point. And I think that's what you meant too, when you were talking about, like, for example, point your toe. When it becomes much more complicated exercises and movements, safety is the first priority. And so how do we use our words without necessarily sometimes having to like get our hands on you to tactilely feedback, right? And give you the line of energy, the cue that you should be moving into to feel this better safely. So yeah, having those words also. That helped you a lot when COVID happened and we got shut down and we moved to just teaching Zoom. But then the other side, like you said, to really understand there's an art and there's a way to help someone to feel safe when you are physically putting your hands on them to help adjust and manipulate them really is what we're helping them to do, to feel the movement in their body much better. much better and on a deeper level. And I will say too that we don't have to do touch. That's something that someone opts into.
Yes,
you know,
especially with COVID now.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like you are comfortable with the hands-on cueing, yes, we do give you that option, and we will respect your wishes.
Yep. We actually have red and green cards now when you come in. And so you just pick up a card, and red means no tactile feedback and green means I'm okay with it. And it's something that, like, you know, another beauty of everything that's come from this past year, I guess a little over a year now, is that we now have that feedback, and we'll keep the cards post-COVID, post this, you know, once everyone is unmasked and we are more like we're closer than 6 feet together, we'll keep the card system also because it's just good information. Someone might have a day where they don't want to have tactile feedback, and that's okay. And so, you know, thank goodness we have our words to help us also.
Yep.
I love that. I was trying to think, there was something else that you said in there that was like, yeah, that for me was really, I think that when you said, I wish I had done this training first, the pure body teacher training first, because so I came from a background of teaching Pilates for many, 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 many years. And linking up with pure body in that I wanted a school where I knew that people were coming in would know the classical, meaning the way that Mr. Pilates, that we think intended his method, meaning that there's only so many photos, there's only so many videos, there's only so many things that he actually wrote down and he published. And so we don't know the whole thing. What we know is like the game of telephone, what he then passed on to to the people that he trained and then said, you are now allowed to go out and teach my method. And from them, it kind of branched out. And so I think of it as like these tree branches, right? And then so by the time you get to the end of that, where like we all are now teachers, we're kind of getting it from where our teacher learned, where their teacher learned, where their teacher probably learned. And even myself, I am a third generational teacher. Even myself, it was a little bit more where I didn't learn exactly how Mr. Pilates taught his method. And so that's really at the heart of Pure Body, is if you are a Pilates teacher now, or you're a fitness enthusiast and you're wondering about teaching Pilates, this, in my opinion, is you go to Pure Body right off the bat, because it is the most thorough program you will go through, in that you will learn the entire method from the mat all the way through all of the different apparatus. You also learn the regressions, the progressions, and the contemporary variations. You know, to not feel overwhelmed, but in a way that they have created this, the way that you get to learn it. So you don't just learn the material, you learn how to teach the material. And like that's what I was thinking of what you said earlier.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I do feel like there's a lot of great programs out there, but then I also feel like sometimes you get into a program and it's like, okay, you can do this move, and this move. Well, why in the Pure Body method or the Pure Body training, they teach you why. Why would this move come after this next move, instead of just here's some moves, put them together, create a class. You have a certain thing you have to learn before you can go on to the next thing, so that you can level up and you can do it safely, instead of, yeah, let's do 20 sit-ups. Well, if you can't even get your shoulders off the floor, how are you supposed to do 20?
And that's the S word, sit-ups.
Yeah. Yes, the S word. Not in Pilates, it's not called sit-up, it's called something else. But in general terms that people know, like, how do you start from there? How do you get someone to learn how to pick their shoulders up off the floor, roll their upper body up, and then come back down, and then take it further, and then come back down, where, you know, do a sit-up. Oh, okay. How?
Yep. Yeah. I think that, like, what you're speaking into is that, like, as a formerly trained other places Pilates teacher, it didn't, like, there was these chunks. There's 10,000 different exercises, and that when I was creating a class, I just put them all together. Nothing was ever threaded for me and into this true method that it is. It literally is a method. It's like learning jujitsu, right? You start at a white belt or whatever it might be, and you progress through the system. And the byproduct of learning this method is the workout. And that's what I find fascinating about this, is the way that you get to learn how to move your body correctly. And so that instead of just doing like a sit up, you are learning how to create space in your spine as you do so. How do you lengthen? How do you, shorten in a really safe way? So yeah, I know I could go on and on and on and on about it.
I know. Yeah.
So let me go ahead and say, like, this banner that we have down here below, the 2 spots left in the bonuses. What that means is the first 5 people that sign up, I am offering them a mentorship with me. It's once a week for 10 weeks in a row. We will mentor together, meaning that normally the cost of that is $3,000, and I'm throwing it in for the first 5 people. 3 people are currently signed up, so that means there's 2 spots left. So if you think that this might be for you, go ahead and hashtag down below open house, and I will add the link for you. You can join the open house this Saturday, 3/13 at 9 a.m. The open house is for anyone that is just the least bit interested to come take a mat class from another apprentice teacher or another student. And then stay after and learn some more information, learn the ins and outs, learn how the program works, why it's different from other programs, why it might be a fit for you, other reasons why you might want to learn how to teach Pilates versus literally going into a studio and teaching Pilates. There are so many other reasons why. There's probably the next most popular reason why people sign up to learn to teach Pilates is for their own bodies. They just want to know how when they're in class, how do they move in a way that they understand the method from the inside out, and that changes them so much quicker, in such an advanced kind of way. So I will go ahead. That's 2 spots left with the bonuses. I'll go ahead and run this one here. The open house is this Saturday, 3/13, 9 a.m. via Zoom. So anywhere that you're in the world, you can join. And comment below. I'll add the link here. I think there is a thumbnail picture of it also, but I can also add that in the comments down below. Anything else?
I was going to say, I do want to say also, a lot of the other programs, well, not a lot, most fitness programs, whether you're teaching bar or you're a personal trainer or whatever, you have continuing education credits. Pilates, you have continuing education credits. And with other programs, this was one of the big reasons that drew me to this as well. In other programs, you have to pay for those continuing education credits. And then you also have to pay to renew your certification. With the Pure Body training, you can go audit anywhere that is holding a Pure Body. There's too many Pure Body teacher training session. You can go and audit it, and you're not paying extra for those continuing education credits. So right now, like Chantel said, because of COVID, I had to miss a couple of the modules in my group. And I was able to join the next session and jump in, and I didn't have to pay anything extra. I can still finish the program with the amount that I paid, and I don't have to pay anything else, which is really nice.
Yeah, it really is another, I mean, I could go on and on about why I teamed my name up with Pure Body. But the ethics behind the company. So the hashtag that I put down below, you can sit with us, has been their hashtag for years. But they really stand behind that hashtag. You can sit with us. It's an all-inclusive, everyone is welcome kind of training where you are supported and encouraged the entire way, from your faculty to your host to Heather that created the program as well, and co-founder Jamie as well. And it really is those ethics behind it, where Heather came into this thinking, well, let's say like it's a graduate degree, right? When you graduate and you get your degree, you don't have to pay royalties to the school to then take continuing education. One, you have to pay for the continuing education credits, and then you have to pay for the certification again, right? Or your degree again. And it's just one of those things that we've all accepted in the fitness world. It's how most people, or most places, most certs make their money. And again, it comes back to ethics. Is that right? Or do you want to create a place where you can just come in and you can take forever? You're forever a student. Once you pay your initial fee, it's $6,300 to go through Pure Body teacher training. And once you pay that, you never pay again. you're a student for life until you test out, then you're a certified teacher, but then you're a teacher for life, and you never, ever, 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 ever pay again for anything. You don't pay to sit in with continuing education credits. You don't pay to, go through the program again. You don't pay to test out. You don't pay for anything else. You are in it and you are supported, and you want to continue to take these other classes from other teachers as well. So,
Yes.
maybe I'll say too, okay, let me like, get ready. I tend to put myself last. I'm working on that, right? But another really major reason why I'm so excited about this next round is I get to co-teach, and I'm bridging into faculty with Pure Body. And so, that's a whole other reason why I'm like so freaking excited about this next round and why I'm offering the mentorship. But it really is like, it's a community, it's a network, it's the family that you come into and you're embraced, and you get to learn this really cool method, this way to move your body, whether you plan on teaching Pilates at the end or not. But I think that kind of bottom line, if your soul is craving something more and you want to learn something more, you want to do something more, you want to be something more, this could be that thing. There's one person that signed up free. Yeah. And she said, I don't know that I want to teach Pilates, but what I do know is this feels like it's the right direction for me. The next door will open. And I thought that was genius. I thought that was genius, and that she's just kind of giving the universe a wink and a nod that she's ready for more in her life by signing up. And the next door will open, and she's just trusting that will unfold. So,
well, I kind of did the same thing, because when I started working here, I was just teaching barre. Pilates was not on my radar at all. But you had posted on Facebook that you were looking for a barre instructor. So I answered your Facebook post and then came in, and I started teaching just barre. And then you were like, well, would you want to do this, this program? And I looked into it. You gave me the information, and I was I think I took like maybe a day to think about it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And it really has been like one of the best things that I've done for myself, for my teaching abilities. And yeah, I was very glad that I did it.
Yeah, I love that, Jordan. I think of that a lot. I still remember the first time you walked in, because everything is divine timing though, right? So the fact that I posted in Facebook, our local Facebook page, looking for barre teachers, this was back again before I had ever heard about Pure Body teacher training, and didn't realize the thread that was between all of this. And that by the barre teachers in the studio also learning Pilates from this very classical foundational level up to contemporary, up to barre, only betters everything that we get to teach here at the studio. And so I think it was, it was meant to be that you saw that Facebook ad, you answered it, and you're ready to go ahead and leap into this. So I certainly am really grateful to have you here at A Beautiful Surprise. You're definitely an asset to us and to clients and to everyone else that gets to take your classes. So any last words, anything else you'd like to say to encourage people to go ahead and sign up?
Just do it. Just sign up. Just don't even think about it. Just sign up.
Yeah. I was telling Jordan just before we hopped in, I was like, I just want to come at this as let's just see where the conversation takes us. Because sometimes I start talking and I'm all over the place. I'm definitely an squirrel kind of person.
Yeah.
But I feel like, just talking openly like we are. And I was telling Jordan just before we hopped on, I was like, I know there's 2 people out there, right? Beyond the 3 that are already signed up, that are really meant to be in this next round. And whether that means they end up here at A Beautiful Surprise, or another studio, or they open their own studio, or they go into a Lifetime or an Equinox, or they learn how to move in their own body so much better when they're in class, or they get to go home and teach their partners or their parents that would never come into a studio, right?
Yeah, there are, especially with, how things are going now, there are those people who would never set foot in a studio anymore because of COVID and just trying to be safe. So being able to teach this, because we do Zoom classes, so I'll teach in studio, and then I also will teach stuff online through Zoom, but it still gives them the opportunity, and people who have equipment at home can jump in online, and we have people in studio in the class, and then we also have them at their own houses. So it's a lot different. It is a lot different than when we started, where nothing was offered online. You had to do the whole training in studio, which it's actually beneficial. Like, I understand why it was created like that at first, because it is beneficial to actually be here in person and be able to practice on a live body with your teaching. But having the Zoom available, I think it opens a lot of opportunity as well to reach more people.
Yeah, for sure. The first 3 modules on Zoom, and then the next 6, this is a year-long program you can kind of count on. We meet the first, or not the first, but we meet a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday once a month. I think that's the main thing too, is it's less time commitment than people realize it's going to be. So it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday for 6 hours, typically towards the afternoon, so that most people that have their corporate jobs or their regular careers that they're doing, they need to take off a Friday afternoon. And then it's 6 hours on Saturday and Sunday. That one time per month for 9 times, the first 3 being via Zoom. So it's the most accessible, I think, that like any program could possibly be right now. And then you're right, you do make up the needing the tactile feedback, needing to see the body move in 360, and be in the physical energy presence of the person that you're teaching. We then take the foundations, Mat 1 and Mat 2, that you learn in the first 3 modules, and you then learn that when you are in person. So everything is made up for, so to speak. You have the best of both worlds in signing up for this next round, in my opinion, because it being hybrid. And then eventually, when I teach in St. Lucia, we can all join out there. I was going to keep saying it. I'm going to speak it.
I do have a little idea I want to throw at you, so we'll talk about that after.
If it involves St. Lucia, the answer is yes.
Well, it does not, but it would still be fun.
Yeah. All righty, my friend. Thank you so much for doing this. I know this was kind of the moment, I'm back here. I'm actually in the studio also. So Jordan's out front, kind of in the equipment room. I'm back in the EFT room, and, just planning this out, spur of the moment kind of thing. But I think like whoever it's supposed to resonate with, it did, And so if you're hearing this right now, I can see a few of you live right now. I'm talking to you. Go sign up. Or let's have a conversation and we can talk about it. So it's time for me to go pick up my girls from school. So I guess we'll hop off. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.